perspective I want to bring is, as a police officer, what you see here is often what we don't get to see. And the metaphor is an iceberg. We see the tips of it, and this is underneath. This is everything underneath, the backstory. We get the top. The call of the incident. How do you respond? What's our job? How do we bring what he talked about, things back to normal? So that's a lot of our perspective. What do I do? As you saw in the program, I'm a trainer right now. I'm towards a different level in my career, but I train officers to respond to these things. That's what I mainly do now. And that came out of years of experience, and in the early days when I was a new tactical officer, when Columbine happened, we had foresight and wisdom of our sergeants at the time to help develop strategies for this. It's a new paradigm shift in law enforcement. The goal is to stop this chaotic event, bring things back to normal, and it's a different world nowadays. So we have to respond to these things, and it's very unfortunate, very tragic, and it's devastating to the family, as you see with him. It's devastating to everybody. People lose their lives. But the burden comes on us. We have to respond and bring it to an end. So that's what we try to do. And like the universal human phobia is interpersonal human aggression. He talked about it with the mugging. It's not normal. So we have to come in and train people to overcome that, meaning police officers. To go into this thing, when you see everybody else running the other way, we go in and we have a job to do. And I teach people, you focus on the mission, focus on the task at hand, focus on what we're here for. That is to make these things stop. They're chaotic. What we do is we bring what's called controlled chaos. And because guys coming in, weapons, armor, everything else in a focused formation and things that we're doing, it's chaotic. But we're controlled. We're controlled by law. We're controlled by our tactics. We're controlled by our duty. It's not out of control like somebody just randomly shooting people. We have a goal. And over the years, you learn and get experience because the traumatic events this is on the high echelon, we call active shooter events. This is very extreme. But almost every day, especially in the large municipalities, the officers respond to these things that devastate families, respond to it every day. Every day. It could be 2 or 3 calls a night, and you have to focus on the task at hand. And one thing in my career a few years ago makes this come out, because I've responded to, I can go on forever. Hundreds of things, hundreds of incidents, shootings, everything, and how do you deal with it? But there was one moment a few years ago, it was while I was supervising a heroin overdose investigation this summer. I think it was our 3rd one during the week. And it was a man who died injecting heroin. He had a wife there. The kids found him. He had 3 daughters. One was adopted. And we're managing the scene. I'm doing what we're supposed to do, bring this thing back to normal as much as we can. And this young girl looks at me, about 12 years old, and she goes, "How do you do this? How do you do this and come here and see this and do this?" And it's one of those moments in time where it's just like, you get slapped mentally, and I'm thinking, it's easy. Well, it's not easy. And I'm thinking, I gotta tell her something important. And I'm like, how do I tell her this? And the first thing I said is, we feel what you feel. It's hard for us to deal with it, but we have a job to do. And the job is, we have to find if there was any criminal activity here. We have to do this for you. We have to investigate, perform our duties, and then the other thing you don't understand is, in an hour I can go to another one. So we have to have a separation, but we still have to focus on the goal. But it does affect officers also, and that's what we see now as I'm getting older towards retirement. What we get and what the research nowadays is officers are experiencing, higher death rates, higher cardiovascular disease, all these things. I think it's a buildup of stress chemicals over the years of dealing with these things. So we respond to these things. We take what's not normal in human existence, this interaction of aggression. We try to train a response to handle it, overcome it, bring it back to normal, and then still function and do it again if it's called to come back and do it again. So it's right now at the point in my career, it's like I got to try to convince several younger people. So, and you think back, what makes us do this over and over again? And I figured out as I'm wiser and older, and it's because we love all of you, is basically what it is. To give up ourselves, our safety, our security, to come in, put an end to these incidents. That's as simple as what it is. Well, how could people do that? Because they care about all of you. I wish you could see how they trained for these things. The desire, the focus, the determination, and they will keep going to the sound of the gunfire to stop these things because they do care about the community and care about everybody else. And it's just part of the job. So, thank you.
God bless you.